Genetically Modified Foods and Organisms by Skylar and Gavin. Here's some history. The very first commercial sale of genetically modified foods began in 1994. The tomato was the very first ever to be modified by introducing changes to their DNA so they preserve longer. Here's some more history from the USA. M&Ms were one of the very first processed foods to begin in America, which was around 1940 and 1941.
M&Ms. The two M's represent the names of Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray, the co-creators of the candy. M&Ms were first sold in 1941, but when World War II began, they were sold exclusively to the U.S. military. Because the sugar coating prevented the candy from melting in warm climates like the Pacific, M&Ms were issued in cardboard tubes as part of the soldiers' rations. During this time, the M&M factory in Newark, New Jersey produced 200,000 pounds of M&Ms per week. As the advertisements of the period maintained, M&Ms were 100% at war. When the war ended in 1945, the candy again became available to the general public, including the returning American soldiers who had developed a taste for M&Ms during their service. M&Ms continued to package the chocolate in tubes until 1948, when the bag we know today was introduced. Thank you for watching.
In 1943, the government issued new guidelines for adding vitamins and minerals to bread and grain products. In order to offset nutrient deficiencies after the war, these products were enriched with iron, thiamine, riboflavin, and vitamin B. Back in 1920 to 30, waxing of fruits started. Now the process of waxing is made simple. The apples are first washed, then dried. From there, they proceed to be sprayed with melted wax. After the wax is sprayed onto the apples, they are then dried with fans. This process helps protect the apples from outside harm, such as bacteria and small animals. Now enough of history. Now it's time to get into what a GMO really is.
Seeds are just one of the many ways Monsanto is helping farmers sustainably grow enough for a growing world. But they're also, without a doubt, the one we hear the most about. What are they? Why do some farmers choose to grow them? Are they really that scary? Give it a minute. GMOs are genetically modified organisms. When it comes to plants, there are 8 GMO crops. GMOs are adapted with beneficial traits that help them thrive in their environment. Think drought-tolerant corn or pest-resistant soybeans that need less bug spraying. That helps farmers, and better harvests benefit everyone, impacting what's available at the store and what we can put on our plates. Here's how it works. Plants get instructions for growth and development from their DNA, which contains thousands of genes. Researchers zero in on the gene containing specific instructions for a desirable trait. A copy of that gene goes into the DNA of host plant cells, which are grown into mature plants. Only after years of rigorous testing are the seeds from those plants made available to farmers. No syringes, no frankenfood. And much faster than traditional plant breeding methods alone. And with food demand expected to grow significantly by 2050, GMO seeds can help farmers sustainably grow enough.
Here are some pros.
GMO practices can be used to produce designer crops, which have more nutrients, grow quicker, and produce more yield. They also are more resistant and use less fertilizer. Artificially implanting DNA from one species to another can save many, many years of research. Waiting for the unpredictable nature of traditional breeding methods can take decades to achieve the required equilibrium. Such a goal can be reached instantaneously with GMOs.
Now for the cons.
Studies have shown that genetically modified corn and soy fed to rats led to a higher risk of them developing liver and kidney problems. These health risks may not be transferable to humans, but they illustrate the unpredictable nature of GMOs on living things. GMOs are not always tested thoroughly. The shortest GMO testing times are a mere 90 days, which many fear is simply not enough time to ascertain all the risks. Transgenic modification produces organism types that would never occur naturally, making them highly unpredictable. Though GMOs were developed with a view to reduce the amount of pesticides used, that is not always the case. As weeds and bacteria become more resistant to the pesticide, farmers actually use more, safe in the knowledge that the crop will not be affected. Often GMO products are not clearly labeled, meaning people do not have the choice to decide whether or not they wish to consume GMO products.
Have you ever wondered what foods are being genetically modified? Well, most food modifications have primarily focused on cash crops in high demand by farmers such as soybean, corn, canola, and cotton. Genetically modified crops have been engineered for resistance to herbicides. Genetically modified crops, or GM crops, are plants used in agriculture, the DNA of which have been modified using genetic engineering methods. In most cases, the aim is to introduce a new trait to the plant which does not occur naturally. With so much talk of GMOs and genetically modified foods around the world, you may be surprised to know that currently only an eighth of genetically modified crops are available in the US and Canada. Every genetically modified crop goes through an extensive testing to ensure safety and has to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration. To ensure food safety in Canada, GMOs are approved by the Canadian Food Inspection Agencies and Health Canada. And here are some fun facts. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you don't wash your food? Well, some side effects are nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, and diarrhea. Before consumption, it is important to wash your food with warm water, as dirt and small animals may be still on it. Also, workers producing the food may not have washed their hands after going to the bathroom. Have you ever wondered what your body goes through when you eat processed meat such as hot dogs, beef jerky, bacon, canned meat? Well, in reality, these processed meats can cause bowel and stomach cancer, high blood pressure, and heart disease.
The wizards in genetics are kind enough to propose a lot of reasons why I should believe in GMOs. It's not that I don't trust them, and I don't mean to be rude, but I still want the list of ingredients that they're putting in my food. I wanna know, I wanna know. 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 They say it's to protect me, but the label never shows how many generations will be born with extra toes. It will take many years of tests to get the final scores. By then we look like the creatures in the bar scene of Star Wars. I wanna know, I wanna know. 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 And so, Mr. Monsanto, I may even try when I'm really, really hungry. A fish with the head of a fly. If you say that it's so harmless, then you got nothing to lose. So why don't you just label it? I have the right